like she was telling me about this picture, and when she told me what the picture was, I had to paint it. She said she got out of jail and she was surrounded by so much freedom. It was overwhelming. Like she had the world at her fingertips again. She could do anything. Like she wasn't locked up anymore. And it was kind of like if everybody could just be locked in that moment of like, wow, I'm free. And just like overwhelmingly like feel I'm free, then you would be so happy that everything in your life would grow and just like be, it would upgrade. And so I painted it.
So you met Nicole Richie.
Right. I wasn't really into celebrities at that time when I met her. So I hung out with her for a little bit, a decent amount of time. And she, we were talking, we were sitting at the same table, and I didn't know who she was.
What'd you guys talk about? Do you remember?
We talked about clothes. We talked about, she was giving away free things. So all the people at the magic show in Vegas they were promoting their clothing brands. They were trying to give away free, like little goodies. There was free food. There was free shirts, free bracelets. So I got a couple bracelets, and it was so long ago. I and I didn't realize it was someone famous. So it kind of went over my head. It was just like we didn't talk about anything important. It was just chilling. Like she probably didn't really get too much of that on that day. But it's all right. Every time I hang out with a celebrity, I try my hardest to treat them normally.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be a fan to them because I work with them.
Anyway, so what happened? How come the company didn't work out? The clothing company.
Okay, so the clothing company, it was doing pretty good. We were making dope things, and people were buying it, but the issue came about when the sales reps, they were flying to all these different cities, Atlanta and um, Chicago, New York, and they were taking the company credit card with them. And that's where everything kind of went haywire because we were just like, well, why are we losing money? And the owner, he reviewed the account and realized that the salesmen were bringing their friends. They were staying at the nicest hotels. They were paying for everybody's food at the table. So they were really draining the account, and they were doing things they weren't really supposed to be doing. So he fired them. And he was just like, well, it's okay. I know how to do their job. I've been selling clothes my whole life. And you know, there's immediately when he said that, I was just like, well, you already do too much as it is. But I'm just so young, and I just stayed in my lane, and I let him pick what he was going to do. As long as he was paying me, then I didn't really get too concerned. So eventually the company folded because we just ran out of money.
Wow. So mismanaged funds because they hired salespeople, but then that was a new chapter in your life. That's when you moved from Philadelphia to Harrisburg, and then you started painting. So tell us about that.
So I took all my designs. I actually still have like 4 seasons of clothing that I didn't produce yet.
Wow.
So I'll make those at some point in the future. But I just had a hunger to do painting. Like that's really like where my heart is. Like I'm good at other types of art because I'm good at painting. Like painting is the source. So when I got back to Harrisburg, I began a brand new series called Perceiving Humans. And it was very conceptual and deep. It was like the secret, the book The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
It was similar to that concept, but before that came out.
Mm.
So I was really excited about the concept because it was functional decor. Basically, not only was it my first oil painting series, but it also meant a lot to me and the people who would be viewing it. So, um, like the first painting of the series is it's of a woman who just got out of jail, and she's standing on the front porch of the police station, like covering her eyes and like covering her face, and she's just like, "Oh my gosh." And she's like that because she's overwhelmed with freedom. Like she feels it. She when you take something away, did you hear the saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's similar to that. So she finally got her freedom, and she was just like, I don't know what to do. There's so much I can do. Like, I just have to like breathe. And she was kind of stunned by this power and this new chapter. And so I was just like, wouldn't it be amazing to make the series about that moment, that feeling, that one emotion that we all should have every day? It's something, if you could feel that every day, then your life would be upgraded.
Right. It's kind of like the same feeling you had when you finally were able to move pain free.
Exactly. I started doing everything.
Mm.
It was just like a skyrocket. So I wanted to just run with that idea because it's so helpful on a universal level. People all across the world can understand that. Um, so and benefit from that mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the series was about. And I made I think I made like 5 paintings. I don't have any of the paintings now.
Wow.
Would you do it
They
again?
got destroyed in a huh?
Would you do it again? Perceiving humans?
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. I think it's important
Yes.
because I spent so much time
Mm.
on the philosophical aspects of it. Like I wrote so much about it. I actually titled it The Upgrade Theory.
Mm.
And so all these paintings, perceiving humans comes from the upgrade theory, which is just some more art, but it's just like words.
Mm.
So one is visual and one is literal. Or just my writings, my poetry, just different things that I figured out in my travels. So it's all related. But I would definitely, I would probably be a little bit more of a famous artist if those paintings still existed. They're the ones that got burned up in the fire.
Mm.
Wow. So yeah, you mentioned the fire. So things were going great, and then 2015 a fire happened. So what happened before that? Like, lead us from what happened like after perceiving humans, and then what led to the fire and how that all went down.
Okay, so I was on a painting roll. I was painting every day, just pouring my heart into it, and just gaining more and more momentum, getting more attention. And I ran into some other artists in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And they're just like, well, that's what we do. You can come and hang out with us from now on, and we'll kind of be our own group of like rock star artists, and we can stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning and paint and dance and listen to music and do artsy stuff. And at this warehouse, my friend Ego, he's the one that owned it. He actually owns a tattoo company. So I was learning how to do tattoos and painting. So if I was just doing all types of art there, we were painting on the walls, the ceiling, or we were painting on the walls and the floor. The ceiling was next. The ceiling would have been next if the place wouldn't have burned down. But our whole goal was like, let's all have a big show because we're all artists. There's like 5 of us in there, and we all make different kinds of art, but it's all really good, like good enough to like sell out. We can get we can like reach capacity if we have a show, especially in our little city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Some people don't even know Harrisburg's the capital, but it's like it really, it's small. So like what we planned on doing was just bring all of our art, work on it, and make as much as we can for this show, and we'll put it on in like 2 weeks. So a week went by, and at this point we brought all of our stuff in. We brought our supplies, we brought our paintings. Almost every painting I owned was in that warehouse.
Wow. How many years of
Stuff that I
paintings?
bought.
How many years of paintings was in there, would you say?
From the year 2000 to 2015.
Wow. 15 years
Wow.
of paintings.
So,
Yeah, it was. And the stuff that I worked on, it would be like I really put a lot of thought into my work. It would be like a month spent on one painting. So it wasn't like I had a million paintings. It was just a nice collection, like maybe like 30 paintings, but they were everything. They had concepts and color story and everything that I could put into making good art. I put that in there, and I took my time to make it. So it was just insane when this one morning my mom woke me up and she was like, Dionn, is this Ego's warehouse that burnt down last night on the news? And I immediately was just like, no, like I just didn't want it to be true. But I looked at the TV and I was just like, oh man, that looks like it. And I panicked and I just like ran outside, jumped in my car, drove like 90 miles per hour up the street. And it was his warehouse. It was demolished. It was like a bomb hit it. So I pulled up and there's all these police and firemen, and Ego is standing outside like, what is going on? It was just like everybody's heart was just messed up. Like we were hurt. That was our hurt piece right there. Like my series, my supplies, like my soul, like it is just so much that just was gone overnight. And everybody was really hurt off of that. Like I got people messaging me after that, like someone in my family died. They're like, sorry for your loss, my condolences. Like, we're really sorry.
yeah.
And then we were all depressed for a good minute. I remember us just sitting at my dining room table and like we all cried. It was just like a bunch of adults just sitting there crying, like like, and we had no shame. We're not shy people, so we're artists. We like sometimes we just let it out, and we couldn't just let that dominate. We've all been through hard times, and there wasn't a choice but to start over.
Yeah.
We had to rise up like a phoenix and just use those ashes for good. So what I did was I went back to the site, the old warehouse where it used to be, and I found the burn up piece of wood and I crumbled it up and I poured the ashes into my black paint. Wow. So every time I use black paint, it would have a piece of that warehouse in it.
That's beautiful.
crazy.
That's powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, how did you heal from that? Or if you're still healing from that traumatic experience?
I'm healed now. At this point, I'm strong. I feel like it added up to just make my story more interesting. It made me a little stronger. And when stuff goes perfect for people, then it's just like I kind of feel sorry for people with perfect lives, because it also might be super boring. Like I mean, there's a weird bittersweet thing to it, because it's like, I want those paintings back. I had great shows with those paintings. Like big galleries were inviting me to do shows because of those paintings. And I started to remake a couple, but I'm just working on some other stuff too. So there's no rush. I'm just making what I feel like at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue creating.
So
Hmm.
so after that, you started working on some projects, and one of the projects you worked on was something called Artcation with Joe here. What's Artcation?
Artcation is just a super fun design. It's another type of art that we both do, photography. And when we first started it in 2016, we it was just like a fun thing. Like, here's an excuse for us to go take pictures in different
Mm-hmm.
cities and have
Mm-hmm.
fun.
New
And
York specifically.
yeah,
Right.
our first Artcation was Artcation New York. It's basically a vacation with art.
Heartful impact.
Yeah.
Arcation.
You
Yeah,
know, Artcation
heartfelt impact.
seems very cool. Bliss Seekers Artcation.
Think about it.
Yeah.
A combination.
Mhm.
We have a
Yeah.
podcast. We're doing our thing. So basically, let me touch up on that. Like with the Artcation, we're gonna be helping like nonprofit organizations, like let's say an orphanage or any other nonprofit, like all over the world, right? We're gonna offer our services, which is I can only do photography. I'm not a painter, but she does all kinds of things. So we're gonna offer our services and help them out, see what they can do, and it goes back to what I want to do with my photography, where I want to have an art show, and basically most of the profits are gonna go to those organizations.
Yeah,
That's
that's
part of the
awesome.
Artcation,
Yeah.
and we can have a podcast about it.
Well, you guys heard it here first.
Yeah.
Artcation right here on the Bliss Seekers.
Yeah.
By the way, if you like this episode, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you can make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you get notified when we release some new videos. So Artcation. So you guys have been doing that for 5 years now. When is going to be the next
Well,
Artcation?
it's been brewing for 5 years.
It's kombucha.
Yeah, we did one good one. We've been planning some other ones.
Yeah.
Our one that we were supposed to do this year, we were supposed to do Artcation Jamaica, but COVID, yeah, it kind of messed
I've
it
been
up.
to
But
Jamaica.
the whole plan, we're still going to do it. We'll
Mhm.
go to Jamaica and we'll get some normal photography gigs, and a portion of the money will go towards a charity of our choice. We'll do a little research and see what's near us, and then we'll donate some money to them, and we'll see if we can offer some photography services
Mhm.
to them. So sometimes they just need to be seen to
Yeah.
get help. Sometimes they need pictures of the kids or the homeless people or the volunteers or the buildings that they work out of, like whatever the particular people, whatever they need, we can hook that up for them. And we'll also be going through journeying ourselves, like we'll meditate and exercise, and we'll eat healthy and try different kinds of fruit and learn, and we'll teach people as much as we can, and we want to be able to make a heartfelt impact to
Yeah. Well,
ourselves and the people we come in contact with.
right. It's basically we're just being ourselves and doing what
Yeah.
we love, and we're doing the fun things and helping people.
You're following your bliss.
Exactly.
And
And
creating at the same time.
yeah, and imagine doing that also with the Bliss Seekers. It's like, well, sorry,
It's okay.
on my arm. It's like it's very expansive to think about it.
Yeah.
The impact that we're gonna make.
So Jamaica is the
create.
first destination, or at least the first planned destination.
It might not be now. I've been feeling Peru brewing in my heart.
Peru.
Brewing.
Machu Picchu.
Ayahuasca.
Peru. Yeah, exactly.
Machu
I've been
Picchu.
my favorite.
Oh, a dieta.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you read The Alchemist?
No,
Have you read
I
The
have not.
Alchemist?
No,
It's my favorite book of all
You
time.
gotta read it.
You gotta read it, Isaac.
But
I read Green Eggs and Ham. Does that count?
What are you talking about?
it doesn't count, but that is good. Everybody read that.
Or you can even listen to audio. I think you'll like The
Yeah.
Alchemist.
All right, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the audiobook is pretty cool.
It's 4 hours
it's
only. So.
fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, and I'm excited for you guys to start doing that, and I'm down to go to Peru.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's
Arcade.
go, Hatem.
Hey, I'm ready. I got my travel points already. I got like 150,000 travel points. My dog passed away. Rest in peace, Freya. So I'm free now. Like I'm ready to go. Whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready. So, and then Hatem, just make sure you get your papers fixed so you can go with us too.
Yeah.
Now that the Trump's gone, hopefully it goes through a lot faster, right? Shout out to Hatem, our cameraman, right? Anyway, so then all of a sudden now, 2020, it was a crazy year for everybody, but it was a year of lifestyle transformation, beating your disease, lots of good things for you. So talk about 2020.
Okay, at the beginning of 2020, I turned my business into an LLC. So I got official, and
Official.
my dad was just like, we are gonna go forward with this family business. The plan is strong, and we have the building. We got a $500,000 building with 2 floors. The first floor is just like a stage, and then a big space that can fit like 150 people, and then the back there's a kitchen and a bar, and so we can have weddings there, receptions there, political events there. People can rent that out for any type of party. It's like a little mini convention center.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Local artists can have concerts there. It's just going to bring a lot of opportunity to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
You guys are gonna
And
put
part
Harrisburg
of
on the map.
the reason it's part of the reason it's going to be different than the other stuff is because the whole upstairs is a whole bunch of companies that coincide with just with each other, with that space downstairs. So we have the catering company, and then that rental space, and then upstairs is a record label, a recording studio, my advertising agency. It's called DRW Advertising. And we have a radio station, the only radio station that's operating out of Harrisburg,
Wow.
and we own it. So if you don't know, most radio stations are owned by just like a handful of companies, and they just have radio stations all over the country.
Right.
So the music that they play and the stuff that they play, the radio station itself can't always pick. They don't have a choice what
Right.
songs.
Corporate.
Sometimes they just have to play the top 40. And it's just like that's constant rotation. They're not going to play local artists, but our radio stations, we can do that. We can have battle of the bands. We can have interviews from our local artists and politicians and business owners. We can put people on the map. My company will make commercials for people. All right, so just think of this. If you have let's just imagine a musician, like a young rapper, and he comes into the building and he can get signed to a label, go record a song, go get on the radio, and later on get a photo shoot from me, and then have a concert all in the same building.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
So
business mullet building. So business on the top and party on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I can do my photo shoots down there. It's just a huge space with monitors and a stage. We can do podcasts there. It's
That's
very there's top notch equipment, lights, everything's brand new. And we got huge grants. So we splurged, and we wanted the wow factor to be there.
That's awesome.
So
I
when
can't wait till
people
we
come
do that
in-
here. So we have a big building where there's the creating rooms everywhere, the podcast room, the gym, all that kind of stuff. That's exciting. So all that was through grants, and you guys went big. Go big or go home, right?
Yeah. I guess you can just go the way that your heart is calling you to go. Because sometimes people, I've been running into people who they don't, it's too scary to go big.
Right.
It's not even a realistic thing for everyone.
Mm.
And what we're doing, everyone can't, they honestly probably can't all just do it.
Yeah.
We happen to be the right group of people together. My cousin runs the radio station. My dad is the CEO of everything. He's a genius. Um, I I'm a photographer and a graphic designer, and I I run the advertising agency. We all are staying in our lanes, and just bringing it 100%. You know, whatever we're strong at, we bring that to the table.
That's exciting.
So it's
That's how it should be,
yeah,
right? Everyone stays in their lane and they do what they're the best at.
yeah.
That's exciting. You also had a health upgrade. So tell us about that. Now it wasn't just a business upgrade, you had a health upgrade.
Yes. So I started kickboxing and like
Oh, watch out.
exercising and yes,
So kick your
it's
ass and
so
then make
fun.
a painting out of it after.
Yeah,
Take a photo and then paint it.
Yeah.
yeah, I just imagine like making a portrait of someone I just beat up with their own blood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
evil genius.
there
It's
you
like,
go.
yeah, I'm super nice though. You had to push me real hard. I always figured if I am gonna fight someone, it's probably because I'm protecting somebody else. It's
Right.
not like I don't get in the fights. I'll let
Mm.
somebody win the argument. I'm not getting the trophy for winning an argument.
Yeah, nobody
You can
does.
win.
Yeah.
It's
They
like,
say the
yeah,
You
best
win.
exactly.
they say the best way to win an argument is to avoid it. So
So
you started
I'm always
kickboxing. What else happened?
yeah. I started kickboxing. I started meditating and fasting and eliminating meat and sugar from my diet.
That's awesome.
So now I'm not like 100% vegan or vegetarian, but I want to try it. I
Right.
want to get to the point where I can like fully see what my body feels like with no meat for
No
a while
no
and
animal
just
products.
see if huh?
No animal products.
Yeah. I although I do like honey, I have to really have a good reason to not eat that. But I do understand like pork and chicken and beef, they take a long time to digest and your body uses a lot of energy on that stuff. And when I'm trying to meditate and get deeper with different things and just elevate my health to new levels, I don't want any type of blockage from being addicted to sugar or
Mm.
KFC. you know, like
The
I don't.
KFC, hey, that's some good. That was some good stuff. I do
Mm-hmm.
miss KFC. They have vegan KFC, but it has not reached the Bay Area yet. So, unfortunately, I haven't been able to try
Mm.
it.
I notice I don't really desire meat that much. It's like if I'm making my own food, then there's no meat in it. It's usually other people making stuff or giving me things, or if I go out to dinner with a whole bunch of people, a lot of the times like it's always somebody else cooking up some meat and giving it to me.
Yeah,
But I do want to experience um full vegetarian diet. Like I want to do the Dr. Sabi diet.
the alkaline diet.
Alkaline diet, right?
That's
Is it just
yeah.
raw food?
No, it's a vegan diet, but it's a strict vegan diet. Like some fruits and vegetables you can't even eat.
Mm.
Like
Yeah, like no hybrids. It's like he's Dr. Sabi is just like things that are supernatural, like not created in a lab or put together
Mm-hmm.
by humans. And then there's certain things where, like, I just want to read some herbal books because I also know that happens naturally, you know,
Mm.
like cross, when different species do just naturally blend together, that does happen. So I'm not 100% like this is how it's got to be. Like I'm very open to change. I'm very aware that I could be wrong with different things, and I'm happy to learn.
That's awesome. So 2021, yeah, I think you already touched on your business, but that's the multi-million-dollar business that you guys are creating.
Yes, it's called Full Circle Music Entertainment.
And where's that headed? What's your vision for Full Circle Music Entertainment?
That I mean, there's a record label in it with music, with the music industry. If you have one hit, you can make millions of dollars off of one hit song. So on top of all these other streams of income in one building, and I'm also a partial owner. So the thing about it is when one of these other companies in under the umbrella makes money, I get paid for it whether I worked on it or not.
That's awesome.
So I'm and there's like a bunch of companies in this building. So that's gonna grow. It's very, very easy to um, put this same, like the business plan is typed out. It's like literally like a stamp. We could do this everywhere across the country, across the world. We can put one in LA next. We can put one in New York. You know.
So it's
Um,
duplicatable.
So right now the next move is we're just gonna put 3 floors on it, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll build up one notch and then create a little like outdoor concert space, and then we'll consider making another move, building somewhere else.
Well, that's awesome. I actually have a friend who's a up and coming artist. He's got his music all over the place. But I went to high school with him. He'll be on the podcast. He's got really good music. It's kind of like sublime reggae-ish. He's got really good songs. Everybody I play his songs to, they love it. And he's just starting back to follow his dreams again. He's a father, a family man. Kind of gave it all up for many years. He's my age. We went to high school together, and now he's starting back up, and he's growing big time. I don't think he's been signed with anybody, or maybe he did sign with somebody, but he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of potential. So maybe I should introduce him to you. Um, and
Yeah, introduce him. There's so many reasons that this is gonna work. My dad is the voting member of the Grammy committee, and he used to always tell me because I travel a lot, and I'd be like, "Dad, can I use one of your invitations to go to the Grammys?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, but why do you want to go be in the audience and watch other people get prizes?
nice.
Why don't you wait until it's our turn?
That's awesome.
You don't have to spend, that time and that money on being a watcher. Like just be smart."
Yeah, your dad seems like a pretty cool person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
A
He's a smart
genius.
guy.
Yeah, we should have him on the
Yeah.
podcast soon.
Yeah. And I have some other cousins besides the Jacksons who have their hands in every big thing.
Yeah,
Like celebrity managers, like he partially owns Airbnb. Like
nice.
anything big that you can think of, there's a very high chance my one cousin is involved with it.
Well, that's good.
So
We now mastered the virtual podcast, so I think we can now start having expanding the podcast to different states and different areas because we can interview anybody from the comfort of their own home or office. But anything else you want to
that's
talk
awesome.
about real quick, Dionn, before we get into Joe's 6 questions?
Hmm. Not really. We can I just wanna know what those questions are.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty
Let's
sure
get to the
you heard like
questions.
a couple of them already.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, well, I've known you for a while, and I'm still learning so much from you. and from what you've been through, and just how your mindset is like to get to where you are right now. So it's pretty cool to hear your story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how we know people, but we don't really know people. Because, like, nobody really gets to know each other like this. That's why I love podcasts, because we actually can hear people's entire story. And like, I understand now. I understand totally why you are how you are. And, like, I mean, I just wish, I mean, I'm glad I know this now, but, you know, when imagine if you just met somebody and you heard this, you can understand them so much better. You can interact with them so much better. You can have a much better relationship with them because now you truly understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, and remember, like I asked you one time, like, how do you have so much energy? Like, how are you so happy like all the time? And remember your answer?
Maybe this is I love life. I don't know.
Because
I don't remember
you
what
you
did I say?
told me you basically, because when you're going through your painful experience with lupus, you couldn't do anything. You couldn't do
Mm-hmm.
much. You were in pain a lot. And then when I heard that, I was like, wow, like my attitude just changed. That's why I was like I asked you, like, how are you so happy right now? Like maybe I'm like I wasn't, for a long time I wasn't a morning person. It was like, how do people have so much like energy and like their attitude is different? I ask you that
It's all
because when you were
perspective.
younger, like life was painful. Your body was in pain,
Yeah,
and when you become healthier, you're like, I love life,
yeah.
basically.
You're like that
Mm-hmm.
woman who was freed from jail.
Yeah, I was freed from lupus.
Freed from body
Yeah,
jail.
Mhm.
yeah.
But sometimes I wake up and it's like the thing is just imagine waking up and sitting up and kind of being surprised that you could do that.
That's crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, like, and walking to the bathroom and it's like nothing hurts. Oh
Wow.
It's
yes.
amazing.
And now you paint like crazy hours and hours and and
Yeah.
move like crazy and get lots of things done.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, I'll hand it right over to Joe, and she's going to ask you those 6 questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
6 questions. Okay. I don't
Or
know where to
6
start.
cues.
I don't know where to start. Okay. Okay, so maybe you already answered this, but what does following your bliss looks like for you this year?
This year is identifying my new goals and just kind of checking off what I already did. Because, if you have the same goals for 10 years, then that means you're not doing anything.
So
So
you
So I
true.
gotta make
yeah.
sure, like, I'm growing.
Mm,
I gotta, everything that is on my new list, I'm going to um, go after it,
okay.
like hardcore go after it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna get it. So I just need to know what exactly it is. So following my bliss is as being awake and aware and ambitious
Got it.
for me.
Mhm. Okay. Um if you were an animal, what would it be and why?
Hmm. I think because I'm so artsy and weird, I would pick there would be a different animal every day. Um
You would
Just
be a
pick one right
zoo.
now for tonight.
Jeez, I would be
You,
I think today I would be a rhino. I'd be one of those rhinos that you thought was extinct, but I'm just like, I'm still here. You didn't find me yet. Uh,
no poacher's going to get me.
yeah, I've been really thinking about them lately. Like, oh my
Mm,
gosh, like why would people hurt them? Um, so I mean, honestly, the animal I want to be is a human because I can do so much as a human.
mm,
I can save all the animals I see
mm.
um as a human. So like this kind of animal is pretty dope. But I also see like dogs that get carried around in purses.
I
Those are
see that all the time in San Francisco.
those little spoiled dogs. I get jealous of them. Like, let me be one of them one day.
Yeah, definitely the dog to someone who loves them like that and it
Mm.
has money. Like that's like the life.
Mhm.
Like you just got everything.
Yeah. Let me be Oprah's um
Dog.
dogs. Yes. Or Ellen's dogs.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so if you had a superpower, just one, what would it be and why?
Mm, very good question. I think it would be the power of like bringing what I draw to life.
That'd be pretty
Mm.
cool,
Ooh,
actually.
that'd be dope.
Yeah. So I would end poverty by drawing food and money for people. It would be the start of ending like massive oppression, and I we would all have airplanes. We would all have
Yeah, private jet.
there'd be yeah. I draw houses for people. I draw food for people. I would draw TVs and weapons. Wait, does
You said
weapons like
weapons?
take me back? Wait, so I would draw secret stuff. And I would just try not to let everyone know about this power because the government would kidnap me so fast.
Yeah, for
They'd be
sure.
like, draw us a UFO.
Yeah. Definitely don't want the government to know.
I love that question and answer. Okay, that was a fun one. So, any advice to a young girl who has lupus and to how to keep going basically?
Okay, so a young girl with lupus, you need to read. You need to empower yourself. Don't completely put your life in the doctor's hands or your parents' hands.
Mm.
Understand that the more you learn about health and nutrition and diet and exercise, the better off you will be. You need to experiment with a couple weeks of no sugar. Experiment with a couple weeks of no meat. Experiment with a couple weeks of no gluten. Experiment with a couple weeks of no wheat. See what you got to take some of these things out of your diet because usually you're the stuff you're eating is also what's hurting you. So you gotta like you can take your medicine as prescribed, but also do these experiments with food and continue to exercise. You have to push yourself. It's gonna hurt, but the way that I got past um, that pain, like if you have arthritic type of symptoms, you have to work it out. Move your fingers, move everything around. You got to loosen up. It's like when in the Wizard of Oz when the Tin Man got some oil in all his little joints and then he could move. That's kind of the process. Like you got to just slowly move around and like piece by piece you just fight it off. You can't give up. Try to stay mentally strong.
Mm.
You can overcome it. I did. It's not something you can't get rid of. The like just don't listen to anybody that says it's a lifelong disease. You can do whatever you want with your life. Nobody has that power over you. So try, at least try to cure yourself.
Mm. It's very
Um
powerful.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Also, love yourself. You as a young woman, like not even just because you have lupus, you need to learn how to say no. You need to learn how to put yourself on like on a pedestal that's not egotistical. It's more like put yourself on a throne not a pedestal. Put yourself on a throne. Make yourself be important. Don't let poisons come into your body. Don't smoke. Don't drink. Don't hang out with poisonous people, toxic personalities. You know, just as a woman that or a child, you need to protect yourself in different ways too. So if you're mentally upset, that's going to affect your physical. So you need to put yourself, you don't always have to be shy. You don't always have to be nice. You have to put yourself first enough that you protect yourself. And I love you.
Everybody's favorite question. Just kidding. I don't know if it's favorite question. If you were told you had 48 hours left to live, what is the first and the last thing you would do?
Oh, geez. Well, that already kind of happened. I was just kidding. Just kidding. No, I would drive 120 miles per hour to my parents and just hug them and look at them and just be with my mom and dad. They would have to come to they don't live together, but they would be in the same house during that time.
Mm.
And I'd just be like, just come sit with me. I just want to be in your space. I want to look at you, and there's nothing that could beat that
That's
for
awesome.
It's
me.
beautiful.
Like my parents, they love
Yeah.
me so much, and I love them back, and it's just so unconditional. Like they when I talk about them and think about them, my heart beats different. I feel it. Like I love them so much.
Mm.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Okay, one last question. You ready?
Ready?
What's your number one wish for the world? Just one.
Oh, my wish for the world. My wish for the world would be like let's get it as close to utopia as possible. Like cut all the crap, cut the like there's a certain amount of suffering that the world has to have because it causes us to learn, it's part of humanity. But there's like the massive amount of poverty, the massive amount of war and killing, the massive amount of like oppression and marginalization. Like there's just certain things where they kind of go overboard with it. We don't we don't we can get to I think it's possible to cut out racism and cut out poverty. Getting rid of that stuff is possible.
Mm.
So like I think conversations like this just gets us one step closer to becoming, letting the world think about it. It needs to be fresh on people's minds. What will make the world better? And conversations like this, podcasts like this, having this get bigger is healthy
I agree.
for humanity.
Mm.
So that's my wish for the world is a, being people just being more awake and loving.
Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah, like I'm so glad we had this podcast, Dion. Like I'm so glad I got to know who you really are and where you came from, and I don't know. It's good to know like you're an amazing person, and I'm glad you're a part of this team, even if it's whatever part it is. I know, have no doubt, you will achieve your dreams and goals, and that multi-million-dollar business will be very successful. Um, and just real quick, where can they find you? Where can the viewers and listeners find you?
The best place to find me is on Instagram at Dionn_Renee. That's my name. DIONN_RENEE. And from that page, you can see all my art. You can find my website. You can find the stuff I like. It's the best way.
Okay. Awesome. And we'll leave it down in the description below. But last words, Joe?
I like your shirt. By the way, I've been looking at your shirt like for the last 2-3 hours or something. No, okay. See, on a serious note, I'm just I really appreciate us, just all of us coming together. Like, I think that as a team, we do provide a lot of things for the world. You getting on board, doing the graphic designing. I know, even though that's like your job, the graphic designing, you provide so much more. Just being in your presence, your ideas, your energy, your sense of humor. Like, yeah, I really appreciate you being in my life and being in this team too. So that's that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I second that. I mean, that was very, very well said. And, yeah, like I just said, like I'm very glad I got to know who you really are. And, I can now see the Jackson resemblance a lot more too. What they call you, the light skinned Jackson, right? Yeah, and no, I'm very excited for where our journey in life, all of us together, is going, and I'm glad you're a part of this. And I'm excited for your journeys and your ventures with your family. I know those are going to be super, super successful, and I'm glad that you're still here and you got a long ways to go. So. And I think this is going to be an amazing podcast. I think this is going to be probably our best yet to date, and I'm excited for this to be released. So, once again, if you guys like this podcast, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you smash that like button because it really helps us out, and hit the notification bell. So, thank you so much, Dionn. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Everything is reciprocated.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm excited. I'm just excited for the future of the Bliss Seekers. I'm excited for the future of Artcation. I'm excited for the future of your business and your multi-million-dollar family business and everything else. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, follow your bliss. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. Our goal, as always, is to become the #1 podcast in the world. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure you share this with 3 of your friends. And if you like our song, our intro song, please check out my good friend Maroney Silva's band, A Dead Desire, on YouTube. That song is called The Mantra. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. And as always, follow your bliss.